What in the So SEOs have always assumed that Google will be the top dog forever. But with the introduction of ChatGPT, has that changed? SEOs are already finding some amazing ways to leverage ChatGPT for SEO. In this video, we'll dive into what ChatGPT actually is, how it's different from Google, how I've been using the tool, and if it can be used for content creation. And at the very end of the video, we'll dive into if ChatGPT will actually kill Google or not. So let's dive in. Before we do that, if you haven't already, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Leave any comments below. Let's learn about ChatGPT. All right, so to kick things off, what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is the latest evolution in AI chatbot technology. It basically allows you to put a prompt into the AI tool and you'll get back a conversational response. You can ask it a question, you could ask it to tell you a joke, you could ask it to write you a blog post or do a ton of other things. And the result you get back is pretty convincing, pretty much as if a human wrote it. Very powerful, and to the untrained eye could definitely fool plenty of people into thinking an actual human wrote this copy. The tool launched at the end of 2022, and it gained over 1 million users in 5 days, which is the fastest any platform has grown. So it's clearly something that anyone working online needs to pay attention to, especially SEOs. ChatGPT has actually grown so fast that as of me making this video, ChatGPT is actually at capacity, meaning we can't actually use it right now, so I can't show you any live in-action examples, but I will share with you how I've been using the tool when I've had access to it. So with that being said, you're probably wondering, how is ChatGPT different from Google? So for starters, if you ask ChatGPT a question, it'll spit out the answer right away, which is awesome, right? You don't have to sift through a ton of organic results like you do on Google. You don't have to look through ads or whatever else. And when you go to a blog post that answers the question you have, you sometimes have to read like 4,000 words just to get the answer, right? So that's not the best user experience all the time when you're on Google. And with ChatGPT, you just kind of get that information instantaneously. It can also do some pretty amazing things, like there is a mode you can put ChatGPT on where it will actually write code that you can put on your website, and it actually works, right? I've seen people show examples of creating mortgage calculators and other things like that, where you literally tell it, hey, write me some PHP code for a mortgage calculator, and it spits out the code, and people put it on their website, and it works, right? So that's pretty incredible, right? You don't have to pay, if you know how to add the code to your site, you don't have to pay a developer to write that for you or anything, right? Just instantaneously, it's there. So that's super powerful. So with that being said, is Google actually in danger because of this amazing technology? The quick answer is no. There's a few reasons why. So ChatGPT is not always as factual as we would want it to be, right? Any output that comes from ChatGPT needs to be edited and have a human eye on it. If there's definitely a ton of prompts I've put in where it's spitting out information that is not 100% factual. Part of the reason why that is that the data set ChatGPT uses is from 2021, meaning it doesn't have up-to-date information, right? Whereas Google, it's constantly crawling the web, constantly getting new information, and it has just more facts, right? Obviously, there's plenty of misinformation online, but Google has up-to-date info, whereas ChatGPT, just by default, is already a bit out of date. And in particular, it can't really tell truth, like truth and facts, like it can't tell falsehoods and truths apart very well. So that's definitely something you want to look out for, no matter how you're using the tool. And when it comes to generating AI content, right, there's other tools out there that exist and people have been using to rank websites on Google. But with any of those tools, and ChatGPT included, you need to have a human touch to whatever is output, right? So the initial output you get when you say, hey, ChatGPT, write me a blog post, a 2,000 word blog post on how to maintain a sailboat, right? If you did something like that, it's going to give you those 2,000 words, but you need to actually go through and read it and make sure what it's saying is legit, and you're probably going to want to go through and make some manual adjustments to that content. Google is going to get better and better at recognizing AI-generated content, and you want to actually provide value to your users. So you can't just pump out a bunch of content that was instantly created and expect that you'll do well long term. Even if you have success short term, long term, that content is going to fail at some point if it doesn't already fail right away out the gate. So, with that being said, can you use ChatGPT for SEO content creation? 100% yes. I've tested out a few prompts that I think work really, really well with doing keyword research and coming up with blog post topics. Here are some of the prompts that I put into ChatGPT that I thought worked really well. So one of those was, come up with blog posts for an e-commerce brand that sells blank. Another was, find keywords for a blank company. A third was, find secondary keywords for a blank company. And the fourth was, what are adjacent topics that blank buyers search for? So this saved me a lot of just time, like mental energy, right? I didn't have to sit down there and brainstorm as much as I usually do, or I didn't have to go on to Ahrefs or SEMrush and dig through a bunch of keywords, right? That sometimes can be a pretty exhausting mental process, can take a lot of time, whereas ChatGPT actually gave me a ton of ideas to springboard off of. It saved me an immense amount of mental energy, and I had a bunch of topics to roll with right away. Now, the topics and ideas that it gave me, they weren't 100% perfect, right? Some of them were not good at all. Some were very obvious, right? Especially if you're a seasoned SEO, it wasn't anything too exciting. But the parts that were exciting were how much time did it save me, right? So I had some springboard ideas to then go to Ahrefs and put those ideas into Google, and it just saved me time of the amount of time it would take me to get to those topics on my own using the tool. It just saved me 30 minutes, maybe even an hour with those ideas. And especially if you have people on your team who are working with you, this can be a great way to help your team work more efficiently. So I really like how ChatGPT can be used in those situations. It just can speed up your processes with SEO like so much. So I really encourage you to use it in that capacity for now, and then check what the output is with actual tools, right? You're still going to want to check for keyword difficulty, see what the competitors are, how much volume these keywords have, right? You can't just take it at surface value because ChatGPT is not pulling in those other SEO metrics for these keywords and blog post topics, but it does produce some good ideas. All right, so to close things up here, will ChatGPT kill Google? For now, I'll say this is highly unlikely. While ChatGPT is a powerful tool, it is still just a tool. It can't fully replicate or compete with what Google offers in Google search, right? If you're an SEO, you should definitely leverage this tool as best you can. But as with all AI tools, make sure you're putting a human eye and human touch onto what the tool produces to ensure you're putting out content that is unique, factual, and actually is useful for users. Some other things to consider, right? ChatGPT is not pulling in links, it's not pulling in images, it's not providing that full user experience you get on Google. There's not things like reviews, there's no like best of articles, right? Anything you put into ChatGPT and get out of it is gonna be like the first result that it comes up with, from its data set, which is not always gonna be the best set of information for users. So I don't anticipate that people will be flocking to ChatGPT. Your aunts and uncles are not going to be doing that, right? So for right now, it's just a cool tool that a lot of people, in the marketing space and in the tech space are going to be using to create new tools and to improve how their processes work with whatever type of marketing that they do. So I wouldn't worry about it killing Google for the time being, but you should definitely use it. That's all I have for now. My name's Noah Kane. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks.